When you shoot product and you want it to look high end, it just takes a lot of like reflections, a lot of like edge light, a lot of little details that you have to be putting attention to and watching for. I just met up a fellow director, Cassandra. We worked on a project almost a year ago at Raindrop. She's a producer, director, mostly director, I'd say. We followed each other on social media and I'd see her post all that stuff. I'm like, dude, we should grab coffee. We'd love to chat on what projects you're on and what you're, you know, maybe how we can work on a project together. That'd be cool. Interrupting this video because K&F sent me this diffusion filter, which is the Nano K White Diffusion 82mm filter. If you like how these videos have been looking, this is basically what's been doing it. This is essentially like a mist filter. It helps bloom the highlights and make it an even softer feel, kind of get that film vibe in your video. And I'm actually gonna give this away to somebody that's watching this video. Now I'm gonna link down all the details below, but basically follow the steps, follow me on IG, subscribe to the channel, and you'll have the chance to win this thing. Make sure you follow, it's down in the description. We will pick a winner by next week. We'll be announcing it on the channel as well, also on Instagram. So stay up to date, stay tuned for it. It's always good to network and just connect with other creatives, I feel like. So anybody wants to grab coffee, you're local to San Diego, definitely DM me, hit me up. Always down to connect with more creatives. But now we gotta head to the studio because we got an interview we are shooting tomorrow. Basically DP with Kit and G&E as well. So it'll be a good day.
I had seen someone carry a Fresnel in their 600D case. I think it was on YouTube, but I wanted to try that because the Fresnel just takes a lot of space on its own. And of course, we're running this tiny van, so we have to find ways to make it happen. Now, I ended up leaving it on the 600D, not on the Pro, because if it's on the Fresnel, I'm probably trying to get a lot more juice out of it. I tried doing the same thing with the 300D, but that one just didn't work. And that's why I keep this Smallrig right here, where I have a lot of reflector dishes and all, some barn doors, and just a couple attachments in here. And in the 1200D, I was actually able to fit all three of the reflector dishes that it comes with, which is actually pretty nice because look how big that thing is that I had to carry. Now I don't need it. I can carry everything inside the 1200D case.
So the 6x6 push-in frame, I think that's what it is. It's by Matthews. I used this at the agency where I used to work at, and I was pretty comfortable using it. But one of the pins, here's one of those buttons, you know, that you push. It like went all the way inside. And this happened to me literally the other day on set. While I was setting this up, I realized the pin was missing, and it's just all the way inside. So now these are like my nemesis now, and I really hate them. And I wish I would have gone with a modern frame studios, but these are pretty cheap. I think they're like 400 bucks, 300 bucks. So I think I could throw it in here. And I tried using some like needle, nose needle, whatever pliers, but didn't work out. There you go. There's a freaking pin. I don't know if you can see it from there. I thought these were like welded on. That would make way more sense. I don't know. So it looks like it's just fully bent. So I bent it up. I don't even know how this happened. Probably the van, too small, need a bigger one. There we go. Push-in works now. You see this? This was gone. Of course, I don't have, what is it? Rebar in my van. Going back to the whole upkeeping of equipment, especially as a gaffer, that I need my gear to work and to be ready on set. Luckily, I was able to fix it with Cardellini, so yeah.
Please, I'll send you the song that I want to use.
I mean, if it's any time, then we might as well shoot closer to like, what sunset right now? Like 8 p.m.?
Oh yeah, like
We'd ideally be backlit. That would be kind of our best deal. This is my uninterrupted power supply. And the one that I got has this section right here that's surge plus battery. So this is surge protected, but it's also going to use the battery that this has. I believe I got a 600 watt battery. So if the power goes out, these, whatever's attached will still run until this battery runs out. So it gives me time to power my hard drives or stop whatever transfer, whatever's going on. The other side, this one right here is just surge. So I just put the modem or my extender here. No more frying of electronics with this thing. And data, like media getting corrupted because of transfer interruption.
Now this client, they actually have an in-house FX6, but it was actually going to be out on another shoot. Luckily, I have an FX6, so they asked me to bring this. Again, when I get the FX6 out, I get a rental rate, which is so much better. Adds to my day rate. This little tool right here is called Lion's Arc, and they sent it out to me, but I've had a hard time putting it on the camera. That's the whole point of the screw in the middle. You can also attach it to like a keychain. It comes with it. But I've actually enjoyed putting this on the FX3 side grip handle, not the cross, because you can take these apart. There's two pieces, but just half of the tool basically on the side handle, because it attaches really nice and it's not in the way. That's been the hardest thing, is like, where do I put this that's not in the way of the camera where it pokes me or feels uncomfortable. Definitely a cool tool to have. Now we were going to be using the iDirect, so I ended up bringing a bunch of my kit. I haven't set up an iDirect. This was the first time I did. It was just pretty easy on this one, and I think it was the older version of the iDirect. But I just made sure to take this case with a bunch of rigging materials for cameras. I want to talk about this thing. This is an NPF double battery attachment, and it goes straight to a D-tap. So I'm able to attach my transmitter right onto my monitor and only need one cable to power both. And like, I don't need any additional hardware or anything to attach it to the monitor. This one is really, really cool. And the one that I really like is a Portkeys BD1 Double NPF. Now that thing, you can actually unscrew the second attachment to it, so you can essentially make the transmitter vertical or horizontal, and it just seems useful where sometimes things are blocking the transmission, or maybe you want the cable coming out another way for the transmission, so you can flip it around when you attach that second piece of the NPF. I hope it makes sense, but really cool thing for adding transmission to your monitors, or just having two NPF things working, which I find the monitors being the best one. And when you are working for somebody else, sometimes they'll have requests in terms of what they want the camera to be labeled and the footage to be numbered and everything. So they sent me an email. They'll usually send it to you in an email and tell you what they're looking for, or what they always ask, like a PDF or so. So here we're just prepping for tomorrow. Also, camera settings. A lot of them will ask for specific color profiles or so that, you know, that they want to shoot. If you're working with people from Europe, it's usually they want 25 frames, a bunch of stuff like that. This is our lighting breakdown. We had the F22C punching right through magic cloth, a little bit of neg in the bottom to allow a little bit more contrast. Been loving this setup as a key. And then on the other side, we had our foam core, which I love using a bounce card rather than a second source whenever I can. Now in the back, we had to pivot with this F22X. That was a hair light, but we didn't need a hair light because our talent was clean shaven. And now I'm realizing this is like the second time where if someone is more clean shaven right on their head, then any hair light is just gonna cause some shine and it doesn't look as good as originally intended. That's why we pivoted last minute to throw this little tube light right here and give him more of a shoulder kind of edge light over there rather than a hair light. Over here we just had this floppy to block some of this light that was coming through, and we threw a 600D that was gel in order to raise the room level, just raise the ambient a bit. A little bit of a floppy to block some of that light. And over here we created some shape like it was morning light with the 200X and the Amaranth spotlight. On the other side, I believe this one was a 300D gelled as well with the Aputure spotlight, and this was creating some shape over here on this wall. Just wanted to lift the room and make some more points of interest. Now they had this surgery table and this light, but the place was really dark, so we threw this 200X all the way down to blue, or I think it was a 100D actually. That's why we ended up gelling this 100D, and I just wanted to raise the room just so it didn't fade it into black in the scene. I was really happy with how it turned out. I don't have the footage of this because it wasn't on my cards and client kept the footage, so this tends to happen a lot of times.
Towards camera, or like angled a little bit so you can see that the lights are actually like on and like.
So this is like the main problem with having the van, is that it's just too much. And the reality is I wish I had space to like walk in and shelve and, you know, just fit more, one, fit more things, but two, not make it too difficult to grab things. Because tomorrow I'm DPing a commercial. It's more like B-roll shoot or use case for web, whatever, for a brand. We're just gonna light the product in this really cool studio up in Oceanside. And so, yeah, I feel like my talk is just about van, but we're DPing that tomorrow. We pre-light tomorrow, and I need some RGB to push and be able to light what I need. So I just got confirmation. I'm gonna be DPing another interview project, it seems. And this one's gonna be, this is actually next week, which I don't really have work for next week. I had one day for a stills job that was later in the day. And the same day, of course, I got an inquiry to shoot this interview. But I think I can make it work. The stills job is like, I think it's like 6, 7 p.m. And I know this interview is really early. So I think I might just shoot both. I was gonna have my wife, who's also a photographer, just handle that job. I might do it. I might just have her shoot at that. We'll see. We'll see how tired I am. This is nice. This is 3 DP jobs, 2 this week, 1 next week. And then the week after that, we got confirmation. We're going to North Carolina, I think it is. And I'm just gonna be working like swing AC for my buddy Matt, who's a DP. Great DP, I love his work. I've been working with him, man, he was like a huge help when I started and started to think about going into the freelance world. He definitely was a huge help. I was able to get a couple photos of my van, Cineglow. I got to see it yesterday. I'm gonna show it to you guys. It's pretty much like 80% there, I'd say. And now it's just hopefully running it and being able to grow it. Ideally, being able to get more work in terms of gapping and more rentals in the lighting space. And I think where I'm gonna land is I'm gonna try and get more clients that are, you know, the traveling people to San Diego, which I think I've been getting a good amount of that. Just hoping we can also grab some of the market in terms of lighting and be able to grow that. I mean, I would love to have every single light that's out there. I'm really looking at the Nanlux 2400. It's an insane light. I just learned that it has a switch for a 15 amp, and you can run it at 15 amp or at 20 amp, and you just pop a switch and you can run it on house power, which is crazy. If I was to jump on that bigger van, then that means I can start getting like the 2400 and maybe getting a set of 2 of the 500Bs that they have, and then seeing what else I can pick up. So we'll see what makes sense. So sometimes, or a lot of the times, agencies use Wrapbooks to sign on employees and all. And I already have a profile there. I just have a lot of emails and it always gets confusing. I gotta just dial it down to 1, but it's such an easy way to just get onboarded onto a project. And by that, it's like insurance and how they pay, and I think it turns into a W-2, but I'm alone now because I am an S-Corp. I found these Gobags on Amazon, and these are really, really nice. The material feels really good, the zipper feels really good. And obviously these are the knockoffs of the brand ones, which I think they're CRD bags. And these CRD bags, man, they go for about $35 each. And these are, I mean, they're not cheap. They're $19.99, not cheap at all. But if you buy a 2-pack, you're only paying $35. What you pay for 1 in the CRD bags, you can get 2 of these Go bags. So, you know, I don't have any CRD bags. I'm sure they are really nice, but to me, I think this actually just gets the job done, which is help me organize the gear. I can label it, and this is really high quality. Highly recommend these. I'll definitely try and link these down below so you can check them out. This is turning into a car vlog, but today is the production day. Yesterday was our pre-light, as we mentioned, and I really didn't get a chance to film yesterday. I totally forgot about it. I was so tired, but last night, I went through some of the footage that we pre-lit today so I could make sure everything was good and if I saw anything. And I took some screen grabs, threw them on the iPad, and I realized I could actually write on the iPad. So I just did some notes of what I want to change today what I want to work on. And the biggest thing that I saw is that the product kind of fades into the black, so I really want to hit it with some highlights. Hopefully we can get some double edges going around there, and that pretty much would fix the majority of what I saw, which was making the product pop. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing that whenever I actually get a pre-light. I can grab some clips, take some screen grabs, and really examine them and see what I want changed in the frame. So today we have about an hour. I'm hoping we can just put those on like some baby booms on combos, maybe some 200Xs with Fresnels or like the Amaranth Spotlight or something, so we can control it and be able to hit it with those backlights. Last night I also had to send out some audio files for a client, and this is like the reality of what it is to freelance, growing an agency, growing some ventures within the film space, and that one being my production house, right? I have to make sure everything's getting handled with my clients as well. But yeah, let's get to set, and hopefully the day goes by smooth. There's always things that happen, but let's make it a good one. All right, so we're wrapped. Worked out better than I was expected. I had the plan. Last night I was thinking about it, and in order to get those cross beams behind the truss, these were like 6 feet-ish tall. I think a little bit over 6 feet actually. But anyways, they're 6 feet tall, and the problem with the grid is that if I rigged to the grid, we would now have to be moving the grid up and down, getting on ladders, and doing that for every single product, and it felt like it would take much longer in order to get the light where we actually wanted it. So I had the plan of doing the boom arms on the combo, and it worked perfectly. We were able to aim it and get it in the right direction. We were able to go really high with the combo and the boom arm and just get the perfect angle. So that made the day so much easier when we were working with the trusses setup. Pretty happy with the results. I think we definitely got what we were looking for. And now heading home. That is about 50 minutes home. The reality is that when you shoot product and you want it to look high end, it just takes a lot of like reflections, a lot of like edge lights, a lot of little details that you have to be putting attention to and watching for, because if you get like a smudgy product, then you can't really use a shot because it doesn't look right. It has to be clean, the light has to be perfect, and it just takes a lot of time for each product. The client was happy, so that's what matters, and we made it through the day. I'm actually hired to color this as well, so tomorrow, that's basically what I'm doing all day. I'm just gonna be coloring footage. Well, I think we shot over 100 clips, so it's gonna take a minute. Most of the setups are very similar, so we'll see how long it takes. But yeah, see you guys when we color probably. Si gustas verlos, era del mismo día, íbamos, grabamos su booth que tenían. GSK es una, no sé, es una compañía farmacéutica de... So we just wrapped what was a 1 hour shoot. Pretty chill. I've been working with this person for quite some time now, and she always comes up with these really cool concepts. We don't have like a ton of crew or anything, and this is just for social content, vertical stuff. But today we were editing in DaVinci, and although I hate relearning a program, I mean, I guess who doesn't? But it's been really nice. Like, there's a couple things that I just want to like figure out on there, but the throwing gradients on DaVinci is so much easier than Premiere Pro. Like, it's literally just like 3 clicks of a button at the most. Premiere, it feels way more cumbersome. I don't know, maybe it's the hype. Denoise, I mean, last I checked, I couldn't find one on Premiere. Maybe I didn't check well enough, but DaVinci literally has it in the program, and it's amazing how good it is. So far, I'm loving DaVinci. Now I get what people were talking about.